Okay, so like I said, I just want to make sure we have lines 64 through 67 straight, and then we'll translate 67 through 70. And those are quite tricky, so I guess I'm glad we didn't try them at sight. Try to explain what's going on. So starting with 64, and remember what's just happened is we've learned that the Helvetian migration is going to pass through the Roman province in Gaul. So we have ea res, this thing, in the nominative singular feminine, and we have a perfect passive verb form. This thing was announced, Caesari, to Caesar in the dative. This thing was announced to Caesar, and Caesar acts quickly. Contended, he hurries ab urbe, from the city. Now, which city is he talking about? We forgot to mention this. From Rome. So he's the governor in Gaul, but like the governor's not always in the province. So he learns about this, and then he hurries from Rome to the province. He hastens from the city, and potuit, he is able, proficiski, to set out, quam maximis itineribus, to set out with as many marches as possible, something like that, or with the greatest marches possible. And the idea is that he's going very fast. He sets out into Galliam ulteriorem, into further Gaul, and then we have the verb from the beginning of the line repeated. So he's able to set out with as great marches as possible, and he hastens into further Gaul. And then we ended with ad Genavam pervenit. He arrived at Geneva. And there's a note in your text, but it's something like they say he covered 90 miles a day, which on foot and horses with a legion is pretty fast. Okay, so then we've got provinciae toti quam maxim potuit militum numerum imperavit eratum nino in Gallia alturiore legio una. So this is really, really pretty tricky. And we're going to take imperavit, the main verb, first. And this is predicated of Caesar. So we've got he ordered, he commanded. Now, what's hard is that this verb takes a dative often instead of an accusative direct object. So you give an injunction to someone in the dative. So he ordered, and now further tricky, totius it's a first second declension adjective, but it's got pretty irregular forms, and we haven't learned it. So what I'll tell you is that this form is dative singular. So he ordered the whole, and we've got a partitive genitive with provinciae, I think. The whole of the province. He ordered the whole of the province. Now, we want something like a verb meaning to provide, but it's elided. So he ordered the whole of the province, and now we've got this phrase, quam maximum potuit. So we've got quam with a superlative again, as great as possible, something, and now maximum here agrees with numerum, maximum numerum. So he ordered them as great a number, and this is actually like a relative clause here, as great a number as it is able. We're going to go back and smooth this out at the end. As great a number, militum, of soldiers, genitive plural, as great a number of soldiers as they are able. And again, we're missing a verb here, but the idea is like to provide. So he orders the whole of the province as great a number of soldiers as they are able to provide. And then in parentheses, we get an explanation of that. There was altogether, adverb omnino, in Gaul, in further Gaul, legio una, one legion. So there was altogether one legion in further Gaul. And remember, a legion, something like 6,000 Roman troops at full strength. And we learned there are like 350,000 Helvetians about to be passing through. So he's going to need to raise troops from the province. Okay. And then this last line 70 is pretty tricky too. Pontem qui ex Helvetiis ad Genavam pertinebat rescindi usit. So let's take the main verb first and try to sort out what's going on. Usit, this is again Caesar. he commands, it's another verb of command, he orders, and use it can, this can indirect, pardon me, it's perfect. He ordered. This can introduce indirect speech or a noun clause. He ordered that, and now remember indirect speech, we have a subject accusative. He ordered that the bridge, and here we have a relative clause now, so qui is masculine nominative singular, its antecedent is pontem, which is masculine accusative singular. But remember, relative pronouns take the case that they're going to use within their own clause. So within this relative clause, qui is going to be the subject, but it refers to bridge, which is in the accusative because it's the accusative subject of indirect discourse, or an indirect command, you could say. He orders that the bridge which pertinebat, which was stretching from the Helvetians toward Geneva. So that's a relative clause. So the bridge which stretches from the Helvetians toward Geneva, he orders that the bridge, and then we've got rescindi as another passive infinitive. Again, this is something I'd give you a note on. He orders that the bridge be destroyed. Okay, passive infinitive. Rescindo means destroy. Okay, makes sense. So those last three lines. Caesar ordered the whole of the province to provide as many troops, as great a number of troops as they are able. Indeed, something like because there was altogether 1 legion in further Gaul. And he ordered that the bridge, which stretches from the Helvetians from the Helvetii toward Geneva, be destroyed. Okay. So we'll get to more review of those lines later this week, but those are really tricky. Those are really tricky, which means I'll probably put them on the exam. So have a good Wednesday.